Have you ever watched a renovation show and all of a sudden you became the expert? You tell your family, your friends, and you're so confident telling them, this is what you should do. This is the material you should buy. This is in style now. This is how you fix it up. This is how you get a team. This is how you flip the house. And this is how you make lots of money. Well, that's the topic for today. Welcome to another episode of Unlocking the Mind Behind Make More, Work Less. My name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also a best-selling author. And every single day, I help others unlock the potentials and guide them to succeed. Today on Unlocking the Mind, we talk about another cognitive bias. And the reason why I have this show is so that we could better understand how our minds work, make better decisions, build stronger relationships, and of course, avoid certain cognitive traps. So for today's cognitive bias, let me ask that question again. Have you ever watched a documentary, whether it's renovations or a documentary about the history of Rome, and all of a sudden you became the expert in that area? You tell people how confident you are about these facts, you share them with these stories, you tell them what you know, and you're just telling everybody, you're so excited about it. Well, if you have, then you have fallen into the Dunning Kruger Effect. What exactly is that? That is when people with low ability in one area overestimate their ability in that area versus other people who have actually a high ability in that area would actually underestimate themselves in that ability. Why is that? Well, it all started off in 1955 when a person called MacArthur Wheeler walked into a bank and tried and rob that bank. And then all of a sudden he goes to another bank and tried to rob that bank too. And he did that so confidently. He just walked in and started robbing them. Eventually he got caught and he was completely shocked. He did not understand how he got caught. I mean, he just walked in. Right now, we just think, well, of course, your face is right there. We could tell who you are. We know where you went. But he did not think that way. He walked in, he walked out, he walked into another one, and he walked out again. And he was completely shocked that he got arrested. And as he was arrested, he kept on yelling, but I wore the juice. I had the juice on all the time. What exactly did he mean? Well, what actually happened was he put lemon juice all over his face, thinking that he would appear invisible on the cameras. Why? Because it discovered that lemon juice ink would actually appear invisible on paper. So he goes, well, if it appears invisible on paper, that means if he puts it on his face, he'll be invisible on camera. He was so confident that he walked out and robbed the bank. Well, Dunning and Kruger actually studied him and studied many other people who had these claims of expertise and this confidence. They wanted to understand why people had that kind of confidence, even if they only knew such a little bit of that item or such a little expertise in that task. In MacArthur's case, he only knew one little aspect and believed, hey, now he's the expert and he could go and rob banks confidently. What actually happens is that this chart behind us, what happens to us mentally is that once we're so excited about something, learning a little bit of knowledge would actually boost our confidence up. And we decide that we're now the expert. We go and share this information. We tell everybody what it is. And we're so confident, we're so excited to share this information. And that's why our confidence level is very, very high. But in reality, what happens is as we learn a little bit more and a little bit more, and a little bit more, we get to this point where, wow, there's so much stuff we didn't know. I actually don't know anything. And then your confidence level is actually very, very low. Then you learn a little bit more and more and more and more, and you regain some of that confidence. But still, because you knew all this stuff, you knew the history, you knew the ins and outs, you will still underestimate your ability in that task or your inability in that expertise, because you know the history behind it. You know all the hard work you put into it. You know all the difficulties that you've gone through to gain that knowledge and how much time it took you to gain that knowledge. And therefore, you don't underestimate the fact that, you know what, there might be stuff that you don't know. So the thing is, that is the Dunning-Kruger effect. We tend to be very, very overconfident with stuff that we really don't know much about. These are the know-it-alls. These are the people that are so confident and so loud and so boastful about what they know that sometimes they trick other people into following their lead. They trick people into thinking, yeah, they're the experts now, but in reality, they are not. So we have to keep that into our mindset so that we don't fall into that trap where we follow somebody who is the expert in one thing and all of a sudden you realize that they're not really that expert. They just know a very little piece of that information. So the thing is, when we are, in order to know something that we have to not know something first. And in order to not know something, we have to know something. So the thing is, we have to allow ourselves to keep on growing. We have to allow ourselves to be open to criticism. We have to allow ourselves to keep on learning and building that skill set. And we have to understand that this little high right here is not an indication of how much we actually know. We have to accept the fact that we don't know that much, and therefore kind of prolong that learning experience so that we get that confidence up here and become that expert up over here and not that expert over here. So that is the Dunning-Kruger effect. Hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please go back and watch some of my other episodes on the unlocking your mind behind Make More Work Less. And if you like this show, please tune into all my other shows, the Mastermind Bites, the Make More Mind Bites, and of course, the Peak Potential Success Show. Until next time, thank you very much for your likes, your subscriptions, and your comments. I love seeing those comments. And until then, today is the day to unlock your peak potential. I'll see you later.